Your body just lied for you and you don't even know which lie it told. Somewhere in the last hour, in a conversation, in a meeting, standing in line behind someone who made you feel small for no reason you could name, your posture changed without your permission. Your voice shifted half a pitch. Your hands moved somewhere they don't normally live. And the person across from you read every single adjustment the way you read a sentence. Fluently, instantly, without effort. You didn't know you were broadcasting. They didn't know they were receiving. But the transaction happened, and by the time you got home and replayed it in the shower, rehearsing the version where you were steady and sharp and unbothered, the damage was already done. They saw you. Not the version you perform, the version underneath it, the one that flinches. That shower replay you do, I need you to hear this clearly, is not overthinking. It is a post-incident report your subconscious is filing because it knows something your pride won't admit. You are being read, every day, by everyone, and you have never once controlled what they're reading. No animation in this video, no music. If that makes you want to leave, then your nervous system just did the exact thing I'm about to spend 10 minutes teaching you to stop. It reached for comfort before your conscious mind decided whether the discomfort was actually dangerous. That reflex, that grab for the nearest exit, is the leak, and it's been running your life. I need to prove something to you right now. Not theoretically. On your own body. In real time. Check your jaw, right now. Is it clenched? You didn't tell it to clench. Check your shoulders. Are they raised? Nobody asked them to climb. Check your hands. Are they gripping your phone harder than they were 60 seconds ago? You've been listening for less than 2 minutes and your body is already responding to words on a screen as though they're a physical threat in the room. I didn't touch you. I didn't raise my voice. I described a dynamic and your nervous system decided that the description was dangerous enough to activate a defense response. That just happened. You felt it. Which means everything I'm about to say is already proven and we haven't even started. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a predator and a passive-aggressive comment from your coworker. It fires the same chemical payload for both. Cortisol, adrenaline, heart rate spikes, throat tightens, hands go cold. And the entire sequence detonates before your conscious mind finishes processing the first sentence. By the time you think you're choosing a response, your body already chose one. The stutter was already out. The flush was already visible. The fear already crossed your face in a quarter second, too fast for you to catch, but slow enough for anyone watching to read like a billboard. Here's the part that should change how you walk into every room for the rest of your life. You have never had a private emotion. Not once. Every moment of doubt, every flash of insecurity, every pang of anger you thought you swallowed it was on your face, in your hands, in the temperature of your voice. The people who seem to win every interaction without trying are not more intelligent than you. They are simply literate, in a language you didn't know you were speaking. And right now, as you process that sentence, something just shifted in your chest. I want you to notice it. Don't name it yet. Just feel where it lives. Is it high near your throat? That's anxiety. Is it heavy center of your chest? That's recognition. Is it hot behind your eyes? That's the beginning of something you're not ready to call anger, but that's exactly what it is. I just read your body through a screen. Imagine what someone can do sitting across from you with your pupils and your breathing and your micro-expressions available in high definition. Now, let me give you the override. There is a nerve running from your brainstem to your gut called the vagus nerve. When you activate it manually, you are reaching into your own biology and pulling the emergency brake on your panic response. 4 seconds in through the nose. 4 seconds hold. 4 seconds out. 4 seconds hold. That's one cycle. 16 seconds. 2 cycles and your chemistry starts to shift. 3 cycles and the person who was reading your panic 30 seconds ago is now staring at a surface they cannot read. I need to stop here because I can feel some of you doing something right now that I have to address before it becomes a problem. You're dismissing the breathing. You read 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, and something in your head said, I already know this. That dismissal, that immediate rejection of a technique you've never actually practiced under pressure is not critical thinking. It is your amygdala protecting its job. Your panic response does not want you to learn the override because the override makes it obsolete. So it disguises resistance as sophistication. It makes you feel smart for dismissing the very thing that would free you. And you, because you've never caught this pattern before, mistake the resistance for your own opinion. It's not your opinion. It's the system defending itself against its own off switch, and you just watched it happen in real time inside your own head. The breath is the emergency brake. Here is the actual skill, the one you'll use tomorrow in the conversation that usually owns you. I call it the buffer, a glass wall between what hits you and what leaves you. When someone says something designed to move you, an insult, a loaded silence, a question that has a knife hidden inside its phrasing, the information hits the glass. It does not pass through. You hold it there for 1.5 seconds. During those seconds, you run one check. Heart climbing, correct it. Jaw tightening, release it. Hands gripping, open them. Throat narrowing, drop it. Then you speak. Same speed as your last sentence. Same pitch, same warmth. The person across from you just swung at your stability, and the glass didn't crack. Now, here's what happens next, and I need you to pay attention because this is the part that makes the technique actually dangerous in the best possible way. They recalibrate. You'll see it happen. A micro shift in their eyes. A slight tilt of the head. They expected data and received nothing, and their brain is now running an error check. In the next 4 seconds, they will do one of two things. Double down with more pressure or retreat into nervous friendliness. Either way, they've just shown you their entire playbook. Because a person who can't get a read on you will always overexpose trying. You didn't manipulate them. You just stopped handing them the map to your interior. And without that map, they walk into their own walls. Stop. I need you to check something else now. Something harder. Think of the one person in your life who makes your body betray you the most. Not the person who scares you loudly. The one who destabilizes you quietly. The one whose presence changes your breathing before a single word is exchanged. You know who it is. Their face just appeared in your mind without effort. Ask yourself this, do they know they're doing it? Almost certainly not. They're not running a protocol. They're not studying your micro-expressions. They just exist at a frequency that your nervous system reads as threat, and your body has been responding to that frequency on autopilot for months, maybe years, without you ever once reaching for the brake. You've been blaming the dynamic on them. The dynamic is your hardware. They're just the input. You're the one who never installed a filter. Now, here's where I owe you something the technique won't tell you on its own. When your baseline goes flat, when your face stops broadcasting and your voice stops leaking, people feel it. Not as danger, as absence. Warmth is a signal too. And if you mute everything, you mute the frequency that makes people feel safe enough to stay close. In the white room, a child who cried was a failure. A child who laughed was also a failure. The only passing grade was a pulse that drew a flat line regardless of input. I was that line. I am telling you now, a flat line is a diagnostic readout for a machine that forgot it's also a person. The buffer is for the rooms that test you. Taking the buffer down is for the people who earned your real face. If you can't tell the difference, then the technique owns you exactly the way your biology used to. Same leash, cleaner design, one conversation. Tomorrow, the one that usually spikes your system. Feel the surge arrive. Let it hit the glass. Run the check. Correct the jaw. Open the hands. Drop the throat. Then speak from the other side. Your body has been publishing your secrets to every room you've walked into your entire life. Today, you changed the password. Terminal offline,